Been a while?
Long time.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
The last time we talked to you, we were talking about running back.
Yeah.
So now we're talking about defense.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I know it was a while ago, but if you mind taking us through that transition and kind of where you are now in that process.
Yeah, transition for me. Are you talking as far as just moving to DB?
Just moving to DB and getting used to playing on that side of the ball, reacting to the snap instead of knowing when everything was going to
Yeah, I
happen.
feel like the reaction part of it has been the fun part for me. As far as like learning defense, kind of being on offense, being a student of the game, I had to learn defense while I was on offense, so that part wasn't that hard for me. But the only thing with my transition was probably going through like the new checks I got to do, seeing different formations, going off formations, just reacting off everything the offense gives me instead of knowing what I got to do on offense, knowing where I got to be at this spot or something like that.
When we've been out here to see a couple practices, I saw you at star a lot. Is that where you're primarily working now, or is it kind of combination of star and safety?
Yes, a combination. Today I got both reps at star and safety, so I've been moving around a lot. I'm pretty comfortable at both.
Is there an opportunity at star, especially with a couple guys being sort of banged up right now, so you see yourself maybe getting on the field there as well?
I feel like there's opportunities everywhere, and I'm fine. I'm comfortable going to either star, safety, boundary safety. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to get on the field, and they know that.
One last thing on that. Are the instincts where they need to be now? Because sometimes it takes time to develop those instincts.
Right. At first, yeah, I was just trying to see everything. It was kind of fast for me, especially like learning where my spot was, learning like all the checks and stuff, all the adjustments. Now everything is pretty slow for me, so I can read everything. I can diagnose things pretty fast now.
DJ, did you ever consider transferring?
Not really. I knew I wanted to be here. I knew I felt like I was supposed to be here. And so the transition, just changing positions was just a better option for me. It was honestly the only option for me because I didn't want to leave.
The way Mac put it to us, and this is, Mac telling us stories, was that you came and talked to them and suggested it was how he made it sound. Like, is that how that whole thing went about? And what made you arrive at that conclusion just in your head? Like, how did you get there?
Yeah, really, I just came to Mac. I feel like I could do more for the team than what I was doing last year. And I feel like I could do that at any other position than what they had me doing last year. So I just told Mac that if there's any other place that he could see me playing, that I'll do that for the team. It doesn't really matter. I just want to get on the field.
Do you think he was surprised when you showed up and said that?
I don't really know. I don't think he was surprised. I think he was more just relieved that I didn't want to leave. It was more of like, because he knows I'm a team guy. Yeah. So it was just like confirmation on that.
Do you miss it at all?
Offense, honestly, I haven't. I can say that truthfully. I don't miss it. Just because I've been having fun on defense. That's why I say that.
Is there a little inner angst that if you see a running back come to you, you're going to pop him a little bit harder?
Nah, because like I said, I can, like knowing offense, I know where the ball's going. I know where everything's supposed to be. It's just, I just react to it now instead of just going and hitting it like a running back.
DJ, who have you found yourself attaching to as far as learning from on the defense since you made that move to that side of the ball?
Dre Boykins. When I first made the decision in January, me and Dre just been working every day, just trying to get me right, get me prepared, get him prepared. And also Gio Biggers, he's helped me because I also play free safety too. So them two guys.
DJ, I don't know if you had any specific expectations when you switched over, but was there anything that kind of surprised you about, playing defense that maybe you didn't think you had to account for or anything like that?
Surprised me? Nah, I wouldn't say that. I would just say getting used to open field tackling. That's probably the toughest thing I would say, but nothing really surprised me.
And I guess just kind of when you kind of made those first, tackles, just how different really was that, kind of being on the other end of that interaction?
It really felt weird because I've played offense my whole life. I've never tackled anybody, so those are just exciting moments for me, and getting used to doing that is pretty fun.
So what's the difference between reading an offensive playbook and a defensive playbook?
Offensive playbook, like I said earlier, it's like set on where you're supposed to be, what you got to do. Defensive playbook, you got to go through. You got a job, and then everything else changes off the formation, off who moves where, and so things like that. Just adjustments.
Is that a little more challenging because it's more fluid?
Yeah, for playbook wise, yeah, most definitely.
one of those Saturdays in the spring, we saw you put a hit on somebody. It might have been targeting, I don't know. But what would you say was in terms of hitting? Because I didn't know if you had played both ways in high school. You said you didn't. You're always trying to avoid the hits, right?
Yeah.
Like, what would you say in the spring was one of your first big hits you got somebody with, and were there also some big misses too? Like, how was that? How did that go for you?
I would say the big hits, it was just like my adrenaline was pumping, so I was just going. And then I would say like the misses, I had one missed tackle, I think it was on O, and it was just like learning how to shimmy down a little bit instead of just running and going to go get it, because that's what my mind was, just go and hit everything. But now I'm learning how to, there's different forms of tackling in different situations, and I'm learning that now.
So what you did wrong in that, when you talk about Omarion, were you not as patient as you needed to be?
Right. That's why I didn't shimmy down, I just tried to run and go get it.
I think you touched on it earlier, but I guess in the passing game, like how would you kind of evaluate your kind of ability, reading the ball in the air and just, things of that nature?
I would say my ball skills haven't gone anywhere, but like now I'm learning. Now I'm learning how to diagnose routes, like knowing what the offense does, knowing what they might give me based on splits and stuff. I can kind of pre-snap, know what's coming before those starts.
Have you been able to pick anybody off so far?
Not yet. Now we're moving back and forth.
Was that touchdown at App like maybe the highlight of your college career? Do you think? I mean, that might have won the game or saved the game.
It's one of them for sure. I feel like we've had a lot. We've had crazy seasons, crazy games. So, but that was definitely one for me.
How would you evaluate? I mean, we just talked to Omarion, obviously, jacked up.
Yeah.
How would you evaluate the way that he is evolving or developing at running back? And like, I mean, obviously it seems like the raw skills are so apparent. Like, how would you say that he has progressed from last year to now?
Yeah, Marion, the whole running back room has gotten so much better. But for O, I can see he's more patient in the whole. He's the game's starting to slow down for him. So I'm proud of him for that. And he's, even in pass protection, like, he had a little trouble with it last year, but now he knows where he's supposed to be. He knows he's supposed to pick up, and so he's doing so much better.
Did y'all used to pick on him all about the head down thing? It seems like that was like...
We didn't pick on him, but we definitely tried to get him to get his head up because he just wanted to run through things. But he's done better just with that too. Running the ball. He's gotten his head up more.
Can you notice that from where you're on defense?
Yeah,
like,
sure.
I can see his face.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
Is that something that you told him? Say you're on the defensive side of the ball. Say, Omarion, you're hitting the hole differently. You're reading things differently now than you were maybe in the spring because you're seeing it from your vantage point.
I haven't talked to him yet about that, but I've definitely mentioned that he just looks way better than he did last year. He was a great back last year, but he looks way better than he did.
DJ, what would you, obviously you're new to the defense, but what would you say this defensive unit's collective mindset is going into this year, especially given some of the struggles of last year and some of the things that did happen and didn't happen for the defense? Like, is this a motivated group, or y'all pissed off? Like, what would you say as a group your collective mindset is?
I know as far as the DB room, we're trying to set the tone with us because I guess looking back at last year, the DB room weren't as sharp as we should have been. But that's why this year the whole theme for us has been setting the tone with us, whether it's in coverage, whether we're blitzing, tackling, things of that nature.
Who do you like when you watch 11 on 11 and you watch your defense as a whole? Who do you like seeing of the defenders? Like, who do you think's standing out for you guys?
When I'm watching us practice.
You go back and watch like the cut-ups and stuff.
I like watching Dre Boykins because we play the same position, and I've been working with him, like I said, since I moved to the position. But even last year on offense, I just admire how Dre played, and so Dre is one of the guys I love to watch play football.
Was there a moment of acceptance on defense where you realized, okay, these guys are now accepting me fully as a defensive player?
That's a good question. I would say I kind of got accepted pretty early because some guys were expecting that to happen already, which was crazy to me. But it was a smooth transition for me for both sides. Like, everybody was okay with it. Nobody overreacted, so it was just...
That hit that you referenced a few minutes ago, how much did that help you kind of ingratiate yourself with it because it's all about popping guys.
Right.
You're not soft yet.
And Gene throws around the word violence all the time now.
Right. That just boosts my confidence a little bit more, knowing that I could time it up pretty good, still lay a hit on somebody.
DJ, building off that from AJ, was there a moment that you could point to where you said, all right, I'm a DB now? Like, I used to be a running back, like, or where you even thought of yourself. I'm sure your entire life you thought of yourself as a running back, and now you've got to think of yourself as a DB. Like, can you point to one of those moments where you're like, all right, the changes has been made. I'm a DB
I was
now.
literally thinking about this like 3 days ago, and I would probably say like 2 days ago, probably.
Okay,
It's crazy 'cause
wait, you're thinking about 3 days ago? What are you talking about?
I thought about me actually being, because it's still kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because I've never played defense, but I'd say like 2 days ago when we had the scrimmage, the second scrimmage.
Okay.
I was locked down. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm a DB now. DB, I'm locked in. Good.
So when you play Madden, do you play with yourself as a running back or a defensive back?
Quarterback.
That's a good answer.
DJ, with Tayon Holloway, he's a younger guy out there in that secondary, gonna get a lot of playing time this year. A lot of people kind of rave about his size and I guess his wingspan. But when you watch him play, what kind of sticks out to you, and what are some of the things you think he does well?
Tayon has some of the best cover skills I've ever seen. And Tayon's worked with me and Dre as well. And Tayon, he's crazy talent. So I can't wait to watch him play.
Sounds like he's put on weight. Wasn't he like 160 last year?
Yeah, he's like 185, 187 right now. So yeah, he's put on some weight.
That was, I guess, a necessity with him, right?
I don't know. The boy could play.
Okay.
So it didn't really matter.
You talked about Dre Boykins helping you make the transition to defensive back. I know he played both ways in high school. I mean, what's one of the, probably the most key piece of advice he offered you that, helping